What's the best way to use the brakes on the track to gain the most time while keeping full control and composure at corner entry? That's what we're going to tackle in this video. What are we trying to achieve when braking? Believe it or not, the goal of braking isn't to simply slam on the anchors as hard as you can and slow down in as quick a time as possible. Now, slowing down the bike is obviously a part of the goal, but how we do that can have a positive or negative impact on the corner ahead. Every rider will have an entry speed they want to achieve. The primary goal of braking is to use the brakes to set that speed in as little time as possible without negatively affecting your corner entry speed and line. This means there will often be a trade-off between outright braking potential and corner entry composure. Try to do too much with the brakes and you'll likely spoil the corner, too little and you're simply losing time. The goal is to find the balance to maximize potential for that particular corner. So how should you structure your braking effort? To explain, as you'll know, the brakes aren't simply on or off. You can change and modulate how much of the brakes you use at any given point in time. When I say the structure of braking effort, I'm referring to how much braking potential you use at different stages of the braking zone. As I said a second ago, we're not looking to just slam on the brakes as quick as possible, use full brakes all the way through the braking zone and then let them off and steer. If you leave all your hard braking right up until it's time to steer the bike, it will often have you feeling like you're going in too fast, causing you to over brake and ultimately go in too slow. And this will negatively affect your line through the upcoming corner too. It can also potentially have you making more serious mistakes like carrying too much brake into the corner or simply having you fall into a panic situation. Instead, what would be more ideal is to start off braking hard at first, then tapering the brake pressure off as you approach corner entry or your turn point. This will not only have you feeling more relaxed at corner entry, but you'll likely be going faster and you'll have more mental space to concentrate on what comes after braking. Next, we're going to talk about the actual application of the brake. When talking about the initial application of the brakes, there's only one main point to raise, and that is to not snap the brakes on. By snapping the brakes on, you'll be sending the weight to the front of the bike very quickly. This could potentially bottom out the front end, which is going to affect traction, and possibly lock up the front wheel. Or if the braking system is good enough, then you could well see the rear wheel lifting off the track. So while initial brake application is quick, you still want to build up the pressure on your way to full brakes so that the chassis and tyres have a chance to sort of brace themselves for full braking effort. Lastly, a quick word on the rear brake. Whether or not riders use the rear brake will mainly be down to personal preference, even up to a very high level of racing. But in my opinion, until you have mastered the use of the front brake for your main braking efforts, it's something you don't have to focus on if you don't want to. Jorge Lorenzo didn't use the rear brake during his time with Yamaha, for instance. Minor speed and line management aside, when talking about pure stopping power, the rear brake does very little to improve the deceleration of your motorcycle. So from a personal standpoint, I choose not to use it because of the little benefit it offers and the attention it actually takes to use it. With that, I'll leave the decision entirely up to you. Okay, that's it for this video and our look at the basics of braking on the track. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to hit the like button and share it around with those who you feel would benefit. Also, if you want to learn more about the specifics behind track riding techniques, then be sure to grab my free comprehensive guide, Essential Riding Skills, which you can find by clicking the link here or down in the description below. Outside of that, I'll see you in the next one.